When this man's wife gave birth to a black baby, he dumped her in the most cruel way. 20 years later, something unbelievable happened. Welcome to African Tales by Pigtails HD. Do not forget to subscribe and activate the bell button. If you don't, I'm afraid you might not see us again. Now go to the story. Adanne shook in fear as Emeka walked menacingly towards her. She tightened her hold around the baby sleeping peacefully in her arms. Tears streamed down her face as dread filled the pit of her belly. "Who's the father of that bastard?" Emeka bellowed as he drew closer, his eyeballs blazing with fury. For fear of his anger, Adanne only whimpered and didn't utter a thing. "Answer me," he roared, this time hitting his fists on the wall where she rested. Her fears heightened, causing her to jerk as she shivered. Emeka groaned in anger, holding his fists tightly as he shot daggers at her with his eyes. Without another word, he stormed out of the hospital room. Tears rolled down Adanne's eyes as she watched her husband leave. She took another look at the beautiful baby boy sleeping calmly in her arms. She took pity on him as she felt he didn't deserve to be welcomed in such a manner. Still, she couldn't fathom how the baby came out as black. She and Emeka were albinos, although the medical doctor gave an explanation for this, revealing how very common it is for them to have normal children. Emeka was not having it. "My parents, 3 brothers and only sister are albinos. Your both parents are albinos. Even your only sister. Where on earth did that child come out from? You must have been cheating." The doctor, seeing Emeka's stubbornness, suggested a DNA test. With this, they would be able to come up with the much-needed answers. 5 days later, Adanne was discharged from the hospital. Throughout her stay at the hospital, Emeka never called or came around to check on her, and Adanne was more than disappointed in Emeka. What happened to all the vows they had made to be there for each other, no matter what? Still, she understood his anger. If she were in his shoes, she would have been angry too. But abandoning her at the hospital was just too much. It meant he had lost trust in her completely. Even if he entertained doubts about the child being his, they could go far as a DNA test. It was much better than doubting her completely on a thought. When she finally got home, she met Emeka, who immediately gave her a cold, bloody look as their eyes locked. Without a word, he walked into the guest room. Adanne sighed and entered their room a few minutes later, after she had fed her baby and made sure he was fast asleep. She decided to confront her husband. Emeka looked up in shock when Adanne entered the guest room. "What do you want?" he bellowed, angry that she even had the guts to walk into his room. Adanne remained silent until she had gotten close enough. She then began to remind him of their earlier days and the vows they had made to each other. She asked him why he would entertain this much doubt and abandon her at the hospital. Why would he think she would at any time be disloyal to the relationship they shared? She then swore that she had never entertained the thought of cheating on him, let alone actually do it. She even suggested they go for a DNA test if he still doubted her. Tears streamed her eyes as she spoke and pleaded, but all Emeka did was throw her dirty looks. When it seemed she was done, Emeka let out a sarcastic laugh. He then said he would not waste his money on a DNA test, proving the obvious that she had been unfaithful to him. He told her to leave with her bastard and go meet her lover, or else he would make the house unbearable for her and the baby. Then he pushed her out of the room and ordered her to just pack her things and leave, or he would force her to do so. Afterward, he shut the door in her face. Adanne sat by the door and wept bitterly. She continued to bang on the door, begging Emeka to believe her, but he remained deaf to her pleas. The only time he responded was to tell her to leave his place and begin packing her things, or he would do something she would regret. When she got exhausted from pleading and arguing with a rock, she got up and went to her room. She decided to give him some space. She understood Emeka's anger was bad. She didn't want to be a victim of it. Probably he needed more space and time to think through. She decided to give him that. She then called her sister and explained everything to her. That night, her sister drove down to Adanne's apartment and helped her pack a few things and some of the babies. As Adanne entered the car with her baby, she looked behind, hoping Emeka would come around, but of course, no one was in sight. Her sister tried to calm her, telling her it would be fine. A few days later, Adanne woke up to discover that all the money in the joint account she shared with Emeka had been cleared. She was stunned. Her heart raced and tears streamed down her face as she kept checking the balance. She couldn't believe what she was seeing. This time around, she damned the consequences and decided to confront Emeka. This was madness. She quickly got dressed and headed down to their matrimonial home. But on getting there, she realized something even worse had happened. Should I continue this story? Tell me in the comments. If you don't subscribe to my YouTube channel, I'm afraid you might not see me again. So hit the subscribe button now for more interesting stories. Thank you.